I cannot get past Letecia Stauch, however you want to say her name. This case gets more and more amazing. I am to the point now where she has run from the police. A full sprint, he says. The police throw her vest on, or his vest on, hop out the car, and like Letecia, she hauls ass across the Marshall's parking lot, trying to run to another store. He had to draw his gun to get her to stop. The kicker is, she was with her child. She done left the motherfucking child all the way over there. She hauled ass. If you got away, what was you going to do? Was you not going to wait? What the hell? You left your daughter. And then when you get caught, you in handcuffs, you yelling, don't say nothing. Don't tell them nothing. This is the most sane woman I have ever seen them crazy eyes on. It is nothing wrong with her at all. I believe this is Daryl Brooks' actual twin. I don't mean to be rude because I understand his sister done passed away. But listen. Linda. You cannot tell me. She literally just said, what's the worst that can happen? She went to court, went to trial because what else could she do? Like, she already guilty. She already gonna get the time. I'm not gonna say alleged because she admitted to the crime. Like, she did it. And she literally is saying she was insane because when she was a kid, some people had did stuff to her. You should see me right now. Mouth just wide open. This is the most horribly amazing shit I have seen. I just don't know. I don't understand. Why? Well, no, I do have theories. I definitely do have theories. I'm on my business. I just want to read this timeline in case anyone is not familiar with this case. You got to catch up and you got to watch this trial. We are here on InsideEdition.com. Letecia Stauch, murder case timeline. This was published by Chris Spargo. We appreciate you. This was published 7:34 a.m. on March the 22nd, 2023. The Colorado woman is accused of murdering her stepson, Gannon Stauch, and then reporting him missing to authorities, which kicked off a massive 6-week search that ended with the discovery of his body 1,500 miles from home under a Florida overpass. I'm gonna try my hardest. I'm gonna be good. Okay. Letecia Stauch will soon have her day in court as a jury selection is underway in her murder trial. The Colorado woman is accused of murdering her stepson, Gannon Stauch, and then reporting him missing to authorities, which kicked off a mess. Why does it matter about reading again? I apologize. Hey, warning, trigger, warning. If you easily trigger a boot, click off. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I ain't got your money. You just got the go. These stories is triggering. And my mouth is even more triggering. So run. Don't walk. Run, haul ass like Letecia did across that parking lot. Thank you so much. Letecia has entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Here's a look at the timeline in the case. January the 27th, 2020, Letecia Stauch calls 911 to report her stepson, Gannon, 11, missing just before 7, they made a mistake right there, p.m. According to the probable cause affidavit, she is instructed to call a non-emergency number, and when she does so, she cannot name any of Gannon's friends or their parents, says the affidavit. She is also allegedly unable to recall where any of these friends live. Deputies with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office arrive at the home around 10 p.m. and Letecia gives them permission to search the property. Investigators write in the affidavit that they believe Letecia murdered her stepson shortly after 2 p.m. The affidavit says that just before 5 p.m., Letecia asked her daughter Haley to pick up carpet cleaner, trash bags, and baking soda from the store. January 28, 2020, Letecia drives her car to a short-term parking lot at the airport and rents a Kia from the Avis dealership, according to the style font. I'm sorry. I don't know what it was supposed to say. She then uses the rental vehicle to pick up Gannon's father, Al Stauch, from the airport around 9 a.m. I don't even know how he made it past that moment. The excuse she said was that she was leasing her car and she couldn't put a lot of miles on it. She didn't want to put miles on it driving around looking for this child, so she rented a car to pick him up. Even though, most likely, all allegedly, in my opinion, the little boy was in the car, in the suitcase, waiting for this trip to Florida. She should be shamed of herself. There's no way. It's no way. It's no way. Letecia returns to the short-term lot at 7 p.m. and allegedly moves Gannon's body to an unknown area to hide the body, says the affidavit. Investigators believe that Gannon had been in the car because Letecia wanted to avoid her husband discovering his son's body, the affidavit says. Harley then picks her mother up in her own car around 10:30 p.m., investigators believe, based on cell phone records, according to the affidavit. I'm so confused. How'd she get back to the airport, and why did she need a ride? Did she need a ride from where she put the body at? Or was she back at the airport? I got questions. This daughter really, she sits in a real in-between place in my mind. I really can't decide. I know kids be special. I do know they be special and they be absent-minded and don't be paying attention. But this right here, I don't know how in the world she made it all the way to Florida. That's crazy to me. January 29, 2020, the rental car is returned at 9 a.m. by Letecia, says the affidavit. Letecia meets with investigators at the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. She arrives 2 hours late, according to the affidavit, and with her vehicle freshly washed. The affidavit says that Letecia arrived with sheets of paper and proceeded to tell investigators. I just got to take a minute right quick and say who else showed up to their investigation, to their interview with the police with paper. This is definitely a mixture between Sarah Boone and a Darrell Brooks with all the lies. I mean, she fit right in the middle. Her crime is just more I don't know. She definitely a Sarah Boone with the crime, but I don't know. Yeah, no, she definitely worse. Oh yeah, she much worse than Sarah Boone. The affidavit says that Letecia arrived with sheets of paper and proceeded to tell investigators that she had been held at gunpoint by a man named Eduardo on the day Gannon went missing from their home. Letecia then allegedly said the man rapped her. Yes, rapped. You know how you be rapping? You be spitting that fire, R-A-P-E-D, right? Rapped her. Y'all better know what I mean. I test YouTube with a bunch of words. I do all the curse words and all that kind of stuff. But it's some words that I will not. They're going to shut my whole channel down. Letecia then allegedly said that the man rapped her and then abducted Gannon. Letecia says she then cleaned up the area before reporting her son missing, according to the affidavit. This is the dumbest. My whole thing is did you really take this child's life for nothing? Like, you could have just left. Nobody needed you there. You could have just left. Investigators seize Letecia's cell phone and apply for a warrant to take DNA samples. The affidavit says that Letecia then begins to stick tissues down her pants and says she is struggling to breathe and having heart problems. She's rushed to the hospital. Letecia has non-life-threatening health concerns, says the affidavit, and upon being released, she slips out of the building without telling any members of law enforcement that are present. Because she is not under arrest, that is completely legal. January 30th, 2020, Gannon's status is changed from runaway to endangered missing child. That status change allows the EPSO to reach out to both the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the National Center for Missing Exploited Children to assist in the search efforts. Massive search efforts get underway in El Paso County. February 1, 2020, Letecia and her daughter, Haley, began to drive cross country, according to the testimony of Sergeant Rosario Hubble of the EPSO, who said in a September 2021 hearing that Letecia rented a van for the drive. Sergeant Hubble said that he believes Gannon's remains were also in the van at the time. February 3, 2020, a neighbor comes forward and claims that his home surveillance footage contradicts Letecia's version of events. His video shows an adult and a younger person getting into a car outside the residence, but later only the adult is seen getting out of the car when it returns home. February 4, 2020, Letecia arrives in Florida and checks into a hotel just 3 miles away from where Gannon's body is later discovered by a group of construction workers. They was bridge inspectors. Get it right. Get it right. They already testified. Well, one of them already testified. I don't think the other one going to testify. I was a little heated, though. I was truly disgusted that he mentioned that he saw them socks on them little baby feet. And then before he could even say anything, the other guy just dumped it over. Like, you just wanted to see, like, being nosy. Like, oh, man, I felt so bad when he said that they dumped him out like that. February 13, 2020, search efforts for Gannon expand into neighboring Douglas County. February 14 through 15, Letecia tells her husband 5 different versions of events that occurred in the hours before Gannon went missing, according to the affidavit. I don't know where you get the insane part from. You did not go insane for just 1 minute, and then all the rest of the time, this is the normal special you. Like, no. You just the same. You just didn't want it. Something happened. You got mad. You wanted the attention, something, yeah. When EPSO came to the house on January 27, 2020, the abductor was still in her residence and that she tried to signal the EPSO deputies that there was somebody in the residence. She was wrapped by a man at her residence and he abducted Gannon. She knew the man's identity because she saw a piece of paper and his identification card fall out of his pocket that had his name on it. A man followed her home from Petco and at some point was laying in the middle of the road in front of the car. When Letecia stopped to avoid running the man over, he jumped into her car and made her take him home and wrapped her. Letecia and Gannon were near County Line Road Highway 105 in northern El Paso County on January 27, 2020. Gannon is riding a bicycle in the area and fell off, hit his head, and was then abducted by a man. Letecia stated that the blood in the corner of Gannon's room was a combination of hers and Gannon's. In this explanation, she stated that the abductor did some things to her behind her back, and Gannon I did not hear that. Oh my goodness. She did not. I really want to know what in the world this lady did to this child. Did some things to her and Gannon with an object. Additionally, she was tied up at some point in the abduction, and the abductor was still present during the EPSO visit that night. February the 18th, 2020, Letecia calls a company called fakest.com, hoping to get the results of a test she took sent to her, but is told her report was blocked by management based on the content of the questions. According to the affidavit, she is also told by an employee that with illegal activities, they reserve the right to not send the report. You gotta watch that testimony. He actually, the calls were recorded, so you get to hear. And she actually says, I don't know why my report was blocked. I'm over here talking about cheating on my husband. I'm not doing no kind of infidelity. You gotta listen to this. But the polygraph questions that she sent in, they ain't have shit to do with infidelity. They ain't have shit to do with it. This case, oh my goodness, she got me stuttering. This is amazing. I'm done. I'm just gonna read this and be done. I regret reading it now because of that. Oh my goodness, yes. February 21, 2020, search efforts are suspended. February 28, 2020, a judge signs off on the arrest warrant. March 2, 2020, Letecia Stauch is arrested in Myrtle Beach, must be South Carolina, for the murder of Gannon Stauch. March 4, 2020, Letecia makes national headlines after she allegedly attacks a deputy while being extradited back to Colorado. Because, yes, she tried to run again. March 5, 2020, Al files for divorce from Letecia and says the marriage is irretrievably broken in his filings. He also states that his wife is in South Carolina awaiting extradition to Colorado, charged with first-degree murder of his son. March 11, 2020, Letecia is formally charged with first-degree murder in an El Paso County courtroom. March 17, 2020, Gannon's body is discovered in Florida, according to testimony provided by Sergeant Jason Yoder of the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. In a September 2021 court hearing, bridge inspectors with the Florida Department of Transportation found a suitcase under the bridge while doing construction, and upon opening it, found what appeared to be a boy's body wrapped in blankets, said Sergeant Yoder. Sergeant Yoder said that Gannon had been shot in the jaw, stabbed in the chest and back, and suffered a skull fracture. Gannon also had defensive wounds covering his arms and legs, and a bullet lodged in his skull, according to Sergeant Yoder. June 4, 2020, a probable cause affidavit reveals that Letecia attempted to escape from jail and had allegedly devised a plan to break through the windows of her cell using a broom handle. January 19, 2021, a mental health evaluation submitted to the court stating that Letecia is competent to stand trial. February 26, 2021, judge grants Letecia's motion to represent herself in court. We was close to seeing it. We was close. I want to see the soliloquy or whatever they got to go through in order to grant her that, because I know they had a lot of questions for her. April 30, 2021, Letecia and Al's divorce is finalized. May 3, 2021, Letecia is appointed new public defenders. Why? September 23, 2021, after hearing testimony from law enforcement and expert witnesses, judge rules that the case will go to trial. February 11, 2022, Letecia changes her plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. March 20, 2023, jury selection begins. So that kind of catches us up to where we are right now. When I say this, I don't watch TV anymore. I don't watch TV anymore because the stuff that's happening in real life now is so over the top that nothing can compare. And I don't like fake reenactments. Like, this is the real deal, Holyfield. Like, I cannot stand to see a bad reenactment, so I just can't watch it no more. I can't watch it. But sad to say, I don't have to, because this shit that movies used to be made of is now happening in real life. And these people are truly thinking that they should not have to serve the time for it. She has tried to break out of jail twice. She's ran from the police once. She didn't lie, told all of these stories. She didn't try to blame anybody else. I truly, wholeheartedly believe if they would have got anybody by the name of Quincy Jones actually in custody, she would have did all she could to pin the charges on that person. Whoever else could go to jail for this, she would have done her best to pick up the story all the way around it, to try to put them there, to say they did it. She would have lied and gotten someone arrested, probably for the rest of their life, over some stuff that they didn't do, because she doesn't think that she should have to serve any time. I don't know if she thinks Gannon's life wasn't worth it. I don't know if she thinks she's too good to have to do anything like that. I think she has that Darrell Brooks disease where she does not look at herself as a horrible person. She doesn't think that she's capable of being horrible. She just something bad might have happened, But she's not that horrible person, so why should she have to suffer? I don't know. But let's make sure she did. This is crazy as I don't know what. I hope y'all watching it. If y'all not and y'all didn't listen to this whole thing, make sure y'all watch them all and catch up. Because this is crazy. Everybody got to know about this. I don't know why, but we just did. All right, y'all.